Hello, I'm Yishuang from HarveyMandarin.com. In our last lesson, we learned how to tell time in Chinese and how to ask what time it is, as well as how to answer. One thing we didn't cover is how to say if a time like 9 o'clock refers to 9 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night. In English, you can do this by saying 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. In Chinese, instead of splitting the day into AM and PM, we split the day into 6 main time periods from early morning to the wee hours of the night. Today, we're going to learn about these time periods as well as greetings that you can use depending on what time of day it is. The first time period is 早上. 早上 means early morning and refers to the time from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. Please repeat after me. 早上, 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 early morning. So for a time like 5:10 a.m., we say 早上5点10分. Note that I said 早上 early morning first, and then the time 5点10分, 5:10. This is because when talking about times or days in Chinese, we always follow a big to small pattern. In English, you might say 5:10 in the morning, and the time period in the morning comes last. In Chinese, the time period always comes before the time of day. Please repeat after me. 早上5点10分. 早上5点10分. 早上5点10分, 5:10 a.m. If you want to say 8:20 a.m., you would say 早上8点20分. It's the time period 早上 early morning followed by the time 8点20分, 8:20. Please repeat after me. 早上8点20分. 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 8:20 a.m. Now, let's learn some early morning greetings. These greetings are all different ways of saying good morning. There are two main ways of saying good morning in Chinese. First, you can say 早上好. 早上 means early morning, and 好 means good. So together, 早上好 means good morning. Please repeat after me. 早上好. 早上好. 早上好, good morning. You can also say 早安. 早 means early morning, and 安 means peaceful or safe. But again, this really just means good morning. Please repeat after me. 早安. 早安. 早安, good morning. In mainland China, it's more common to say 早上好, while in Taiwan, 早安 is more common. You don't have to worry about it though. People in mainland China and Taiwan will understand both. A more casual way to say good morning is just saying 早. Please repeat after me. 早. 早. 早, good morning. 早 by itself is fine for friends or coworkers, but you shouldn't use it in a more formal situation, such as talking to your superiors at work, like a manager, or in a business meeting. If you ever need to say good morning in a formal situation, you can say a person's title first. For example, 老师早, good morning teacher, or 经理早, good morning manager. The next time period is 上午. 上 means above. 午 means noon. In other words, before noon. 上午 refers to the time from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Some people think of 上午 as being from 9 a.m. to noon instead of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's really not a big deal, and either definition is correct. Please repeat after me. 上午. 上午. 上午, before noon. If you want to say 10:10 a.m., you would say 上午10点10分. It's the time period 上午 before noon, followed by the time 10点10分 10:10. Please repeat after me. 上午10点10分. 上午10点10分. 上午10点10分 10:10 a.m. To greet people during this time period, you could say 上午好, good before noon. But this greeting is very formal. It's more commonly used in situations like at the beginning of a talk or presentation. For example, newscasters will say 上午好 on TV when giving the news. Native Chinese speakers don't often say it when talking to friends or family members. Please repeat after me. 上午好. 上午好. 上午好, good before noon. Next is 中午. 中 means middle. 午 means noon. I would translate this to English as midday. 中午 refers to the time from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Remember how some people think of 上午 as going from 9 a.m. to noon instead of 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.? They consider 中午 as being from noon to 1 p.m. Again, it's not a big deal. Please repeat after me. 中午. 中午. 中午, midday. So if you want to say 11:50 a.m., you would say 中午11点50分. It's the time period 中午 midday followed by the time 11点50分 11:50. Please repeat after me. 中午11点50分. 中午11点50分. 中午11点50分 11:50 a.m. If you want to say 12 o'clock noon, you would say 中午12点. It's the time period 中午 midday followed by the time 12点 12 o'clock. Please repeat after me. 中午12点. 中午12点. 中午12点 12 o'clock noon. To greet people during this time period, you could say 中午好. This is technically correct, but it's not a common phrase, and I haven't heard many native Chinese speakers use it. Okay, since we've covered the time periods from early morning to noon, let's have a quiz. How do you say 7 a.m. in Chinese? Correct. 7 a.m. is 早上7点. It's the time period 早上 early morning followed by the time 7点 7 o'clock. How do you say 10:20 a.m.? That's right. 10:20 a.m. is 上午10点20分. It's the time period 上午 before noon followed by the time 10点20分 10:20. What time of day can you say 早上好? That's right. From 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. When is 中午? Correct. 中午 is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Some people also say it's from noon to 1 p.m. Either definition is correct. Okay, let's continue. The next time period is 下午. 下 means below. 午 means noon. In other words, afternoon. 下午 refers to the time from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please repeat after me. 下午. 下午. 下午, afternoon. If you want to say 1:35 p.m., you would say 下午1点35分. It's the time period 下午, afternoon, followed by the time 1点35分 1:35. Please repeat after me. 下午1点35分。下午1点35分。下午1点35分 1:35 p.m. To greet people during this time period, you could say 下午好, good afternoon. But it's a very formal greeting, just like 上午好, good before noon, and is mainly used in a situation like giving a talk or presentation, or by newscasters. Please repeat after me. 下午好。下午好。下午好, good afternoon. Next is 晚上, which means evening or nighttime. 晚上 refers to the time from 6 p.m. to midnight. Please repeat after me. 晚上。晚上。晚上 evening. If you want to say 8 p.m., you would say 晚上8点. It's the time period 晚上 evening, followed by the time 8点 8 o'clock. Please repeat after me. 晚上8点。晚上8点。晚上8点 8 p.m. To greet people during this time period, you could say 晚上好, good evening. This greeting is somewhat formal and is not so common among friends. Please repeat after me. 晚上好。晚上好。晚上好, good evening. You can also say 晚安 at night, but instead of being a greeting, 晚安 actually means good night. And just like saying good night in English, 晚安 is what you tell your friends or family members before going to sleep. In case you were wondering, 晚安 is common both in mainland China and Taiwan. Please repeat after me. 晚安。晚安。晚安, good night. The last time period is 凌晨, which covers the wee hours from just after midnight until 5 a.m. 凌 means approaching. 晨 means early morning or daybreak. Please repeat after me. 凌晨。凌晨。凌晨, the wee hours. If you want to say 3 a.m., you would say 凌晨3点. It's the time period 凌晨, the wee hours, followed by the time 3点, 3 o'clock. Please repeat after me. 凌晨3点。凌晨3点。凌晨3点, 3 a.m. During the wee hours of the night, people are usually sleeping, so there are no special greetings for this time period. Okay, now let's have a quiz on the time periods after noon. How do you say 3 p.m.? That's right. 3 p.m. is 下午3点. It's the time period 下午, afternoon, followed by the time 3点, 3 o'clock. How do you say good evening? That's right. Good evening is 晚上好. What does 晚安 mean? That's right. 晚安 means good night. Is it a greeting like 晚上好? No, it's not. 晚安, good night, is what you say before going to sleep. Okay, that's all for this lesson. In this lesson, we learned how to say the 6 main time periods in Chinese, as well as how to greet people depending on what time of day it is. There are other greetings that can be used any time of day and that are less formal, so you can use them with your friends or colleagues. I'll talk more about them in another lesson. Did you enjoy this lesson? Please click like below and leave me a comment. If you're interested in my private Chinese lessons, please visit my website, harbinmandarin.com, and send me a message. I'll see you guys next time. 再见!